right, well, welcome everybody. For those of you that are here, we'll let others join as they can. And I want to get started. So first of all, thank you guys so much for joining. This is awesome to have you guys as first time exhibitors or just wanting a refresher to kind of join us and go through the process. So I am actually going to turn off my camera for most of this, but so that you know who I am Kendra McConnell, the horse show manager at National Western. So I'm going to be guiding us through our webinar tonight and trying to monitor the waiting room and the chat and everything. So bear with me a little as we keep letting people join. But I'm going to turn off my video so that I can screen share. Hopefully you all can see the screen that we are sharing already. So we are going to dive right in. If I can close some windows here. Okay, tonight we're going to cover a lot of details regarding your exhibitor experience at the National Western. Plus, we're going to touch on a few exhibitor perks and some tips for all of you. So our goal is to really answer all of your questions and make your visit to Stock Show as smooth and enjoyable as possible. So you guys have all done a good job. It looks like everybody's muted okay and can access the chat feature. So please feel free to use that. You can chat questions at any time. We are going to stop several times to try to answer as many questions as possible throughout the webinar, as well as answer some at the end. So feel free to raise your hand or put a question in the chat, and we will try to get to all those so that we can get all of your questions answered. Okay. So, like I said, I'm Kendra McConnell, the horse show manager at National Western, and we'll go through tonight's webinar together. I did want to mention that our staff and committees at National Western within the horse show are really, really grateful for all of your support of our events, programs, and shows that support our mission of sharing equestrian sports with the public while supporting youth and education within the ag industry. So I'm going to say that again because I think that's really important and sets us apart from a lot of other horse shows you may attend. We are really grateful for your support of all of our programs, events, and shows that support our mission of sharing equestrian sports with the public while we support our youth and education in our ag industry. Let's join here. We encourage you to reach out anytime. Our contact information is on there. Again, we are here for you. We want to make your experience the best it can be. So please reach out anytime. I will also share some resources as we get toward the end that might answer your questions before you reach out to us. So we will share those. And that website link on there, that's the Horse Exhibitors page of our website. That is one of the best places to go that should have every piece of information you need as a competitor and exhibitor. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep moving. So like I said, the goal of tonight's webinar is to really provide you with information that's going to help make your exhibitor experience the best it can be. Like I said, please type questions in the chat box or raise your hand and we will get to as many as we can, and we will pause frequently throughout this webinar to see if there's any questions on those particular sections. No question is considered silly, so please ask. This is your opportunity tonight to ask a question. No question is silly, and probably more people than just you also have that question. So please let us know tonight so we can get those answered for you and help you feel prepared to become a part of Stock Show. Also, if you want to follow along, I put a picture of a sample exhibitor email that has gone out in the past week. Everybody who has entered should have gotten one of these in the past week to 10 days that says exhibitor details at the top and then your division or show. So please, if you want, follow along. A lot of the information we're going to cover is in that email. Okay. Our agenda tonight is structured to chronologically go through your visit to Denver. So these are the things we're going to go through tonight: the entry process, arrivals, requirements, stalling, access, schedule, departures, and resources. So we're going to dive right into the entry process. Most of you have already been through this entry process. Okay, most entries are closed, but I wanted to put it up because we still are getting quite a few questions on this. There are still a couple divisions open with late entries. So if you read our premium book, you know that some divisions have late entries open until December 31st with a late fee. Those right now are Hunter Jumper and Quarter Horse and Paint Horse, AQHA and APHA. Okay, so we get a lot of questions about that. A lot of the others, Some are invitational processes, some have waiting lists, some go through a draw. So we have been getting a lot of questions. If you did not submit initially, whether it's for an event that has a draw or an invitational only or anything like that, those have been closed and waiting lists were created or alternate lists. And we move through those as we need if someone has a horse injury or something like that. So those do all have waiting and alternate lists with them. Like I mentioned, the exhibitor detail that you should have received should have come in the last week to 10 days to any email that was submitted with your entries. So if you only put one email on your entries and you and a relative or trainer or whatever needed to get that, we only have the emails that you submitted to us. So you should have had those. If you did not, please check your spam folders. A lot of times our horse@nationalwestern.com email goes to your spam folders. So check those, but you can also email that email and just say, hey, I'm an exhibitor in the Hunter Jumper Show, didn't receive my detail email, and we can resend it to you. Okay, it always helps, by the way, to let us know what event or division you're in. We get a lot of calls and emails that say, hey, I'm showing at Stock Show and I have questions on my class. Okay, well, what class? Are you showing mules or quarter horses or what are you showing? So that'll help us out. Okay. Also, as we go through, there's always questions about entries on entry changes. There's always entry changes. We understand that. There are processes in place. And I put a reference for you here. Premium book page 13 talks about a lot of them. There's usually questions about a vet out, a horse that gets injured or sick or whatever it is and cannot show. There's a policy because we know that happens. That's on page 13. There's also substitution. If you sell a horse and you want to bring a different horse in his place, or another horse is performing better at home and you want to bring a different horse, we have a substitution policy because we know that happens. Okay, so check out those two policies in our premium book and we can help you through those if they come up. Also, if your animal, I'm going to say animal and equine tonight because we do have a great mule show. If you want to add or scratch a class, the best time to do that is at the show, but by 5 p.m. the day before your class. Okay, if the animal is already entered in our show and on grounds, you can add and scratch classes. You cannot add a brand new horse or mule and bring it to the show, okay, because we don't have enough space. We have to go through biosecurity measures. So they need to be already entered in the show, but you can add or scratch a class, and you need to do that by 5 p.m. the day before your class. That's the same for your exhibitor changes. Let's say somebody else needs to ride that horse in whatever class tomorrow. If you change that in the horse show office at 5 p.m. that day before that class goes, you will not be charged a change fee. So that'll help us out on those class add, scratches, and exhibitor changes. Back to vet outs and substitutions, there's a December 31st deadline, and there's also a deadline of the last day of your division show or event. Okay, so those are the last two times you can turn in a vet out or substitution. So check those in our premium book. And are there any questions on this entry process before we move to arrivals? Right, I will keep rolling. Put a question in the chat box if you have any. So for arrivals, actually coming to the National Western Complex in Denver, this is kind of an aerial view and should help you out a little bit. So this street right here, I don't know if you all can see my cursor. Hopefully you can. But this kind of north-south street that's a little bit angled on our screen is Brighton Boulevard. Okay, so to orient you, if you go a little bit to the right, our top right corner of this picture is the event center, our green and white event center that most horse events are held in. So we're looking to the south. We're from the north looking toward the south of this building. Okay, this is Brighton Boulevard. So if you go north on Brighton Boulevard toward a little bit of the bottom left of our picture, the very, very bottom left is the new light rail station. And just would be to the south of that is our staging lot. So you can see it's pretty empty, whatever day we took this. But you turn off of Brighton Boulevard toward the west into our staging lot. All horses and livestock except for rodeo horses and the quarters and paints that are in the roping and barrel racing will come through the staging lot. Okay, so if you are in the actual rodeo in the Coliseum or you're a quarter horse or paint horse exhibitor showing only in roping and barrel racing, you will not come through here. So those horses go to the directly to the Coliseum. So for those coming to the event center, you will come through staging. There are different lines right here you can see. And there's staging staff out here right when you turn in that are going to help direct you into your line. So you'll get into your line and you will park. Once you stop right there, you need to go into this satellite trailer, kind of on the south side of the staging lot. And that's where you'll do your initial check-ins. Okay, in there, they are going to ask for your credentials or your health papers and give you credentials. So once you get here, the first thing before you get to Denver, we pre-schedule all arrivals because we're really trying to make this a smooth process for you. We want there to be staff available to help you when you get there. We want to make sure your stalls are available. So in that exhibitor detail email, there is a link to sign up for your pre-scheduled time. So please sign up for that. Also, we get a lot of questions about what do we do? We're coming from out of state. There might be a snowstorm. We need to come 2 days early. We would love to host you, but we do not have enough stalls with the events that we have. So we have partnered with the Adams County Fairgrounds in Brighton. There's also a link to a flyer in your email and on the website for that layover option. They are taking all animals, all livestock species, anything over there, and they have a nice facility and you can schedule or reserve a spot with them. So that goes back to your arrival. Then once you get to Denver, you're going to go into the staging lot, go into the satellite trailer. They're going to ask for your health papers, which we're going to talk about in a minute under our requirements. Okay, but they're going to check those for you. They're also going to fill out an arrival and release form. And these we've been tweaking a little bit each year for 2 reasons. One, biosecurity, and we'll talk about that, is very, very important to keeping our animals healthy. So we're really trying to focus on that. We work with the state vets, we work with our official veterinarians, trying to make that process as easy as we can for you, but also effective to keep our animals safe. They also are going to fill out this arrival and release form. Okay, and that is to mainly check who is bringing in animals, which animals, and are they leaving with those same people, the same number of animals with the same people who brought them in. Okay, so they're going to need some assistance up at staging this year. If you will, most of our horse trailers you can see in the windows, which is great, but they need to count noses. Okay, they need to know whether you're bringing 3 horses in or 6. And they will fill that out on the arrival and release form. And then they take that form into the satellite office and it stays there. You do not need to handle that at all. So once it's filled out, they ask who you are, put down the truck and trailer you're driving and how many noses. That goes in that satellite trailer. Okay, it stays there. Also, when you go through the satellite trailer, that's the health paper check. You also will pick up credentials. And this year, credentials up at the satellite office will be exhibitor badges. Okay, and I'm going to say, unless you are there opening weekend. So for those coming for Mentor Matchup, Western Performance Horse Showdown, Ranch Rodeo, or the Freestyle Reining, those 4 events opening weekend will pick up their entire packet up there. Everyone else, you will only pick up the exhibitor badges you ordered. You can also purchase additional up there. And then you will, after you move in down in the barns, you will come to the horse show office for the rest of your credentials, meaning parking passes, things like that. Okay, so only exhibitor badges up here, unless you are that opening weekend event. And you'll pick up your entire packet up here. So that's the satellite trailer. And also up there, they will be collecting, as will the horse show office, a waiver this year. So if you bought 3 exhibitor badges, we need 3 National Western Stock Show waivers signed for those 3 badges. And that's protecting our exhibitors because we really want to make sure, and we'll show you when we get to the access points, we really want to make sure that those accessing our exhibitor points are exhibitors or have a waiver signed and are okay to be with those horses. Okay, so they'll collect a waiver. I'm going to pause. Let's see, Kyle and Aaron. Yes, we're going to get to requirements in just a second. So the next slide, I believe, is on brand papers and health requirements. So we will jump to that in just a second. So finishing up, once you finish up in the satellite office, you are going to get back in your truck and trailer and head down the hill. If you happen to have 2 people in your vehicle, which is always recommended, sometimes you can send someone down early before the trailer to get your stall assignments and start walking through the barns, going to the feed office, things like that, if the trailer's not quite ready to come down. Okay, so they will help you with that. Then we're going to head down to the barns and the stalling office. So once you're up here, and we talk about this a little bit with stalling, your stall assignments are a little bit flexible because we have groups coming in before you and groups coming in behind you. And so we're a little bit flexible on stalling so that our stalling staff can try to be as prepared as possible for your arrival. And so when you get to the staging office, the staging lot and satellite office, they will be communicating, our stalling staff will be communicating with everyone up here, and will let you know where to go as you head down the hill. Okay, so once you leave the staging lot, they'll send you down the hill and tell you where to go. Once you get down the hill and get parked, there are gators with volunteers driving them that are there to help you. They're there to direct you, get you to the right door as close as possible, and also help you unload. So that's what our gators are for, our gator drivers. Okay, and then if you don't know your exact stall assignment, our stalling office is in the event center barn, and it's straight back, I believe it's aisle 5. So you'll go straight back into aisle 5. The door number is also door 5 outside. So door 5 is aisle 5. You'll go back to the stalling office and get your exact assignments, which exact stalls so you can unload. Okay. Also a quick note on these waivers. There's a couple things that we'll talk about that you guys will need to bring to show. If you would please bring them with you, because we're going to trade those out when you get to show. So emailing them early, it's hard to keep track of which division sent which one, how many waivers. They only sent 2 waivers for the 6 badges they bought, et cetera, et cetera. So please bring all of your documentation with you. All right, let's move forward. I have a few more pictures of arrivals just to help you guys. These are those railroad tracks and light rail lines. Again, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but in the picture to the left, kind of the bottom side, those are the railroad tracks and light rail line. You can see the event center is kind of right in the middle of the picture, and the barn is to the right, kind of a smaller connection to the event center. And then further on, you can see the Hall of Ed, the Stadium Arena, and the Coliseum. So once you leave the satellite office up here, you're going to come down this hill behind the barns, and you'll either stop behind the barns and unload, or you'll go over here toward the expo barn, depending on which barn you're in. The picture on the right is above the event center kind of main area and paddock area. So again, the railroad tracks are up here this time on the very top of the picture. This is where you're coming from behind the building. Okay, you either stop back there and unload, or you come over here to expo. This you can see is kind of our feed office, feed and bedding area. Okay, some storage. And then behind the paddock, we have tractors and things stored. We also call this the Y. And so the Y is probably one of the busiest places for move in and move out, because it also contains all the livestock. So remember, livestock are also coming in with you. And so we'll show you some pictures behind the barn. We keep that open so that they can keep moving. We don't want bottlenecks anywhere. And then once you are at either barn you unload, you're going to stay to the west right here around the Hall of Education. So stay to the right after you go around gate 6 here, and stay that way to get out gate 5. Okay. This gate is, there's so much public up here, this gate is typically locked all day. So you'll need to go this way back around the Hall of Education. Okay, there's some more pictures here. We have started unloading this way because we keep losing space behind the event center. And so this parallel parking behind the barns not only fits these 2 levels of trailers, it leaves the lane right here. So it leaves a fire line next to the barn, a trailer line, an open line for livestock to continue forward to their barn. Plus we can fit smaller trailers tight up against the wall between the fire hydrants. Okay, you can kind of see that over on this one. So again, volunteers will direct you. There are a couple divisions we may change this for, depending on like the size of the trailers, like the draft horse semis and stuff. But for the most part, this has been going very well and actually fitting more trailers than our diagonal parking, because we don't have that much space. So that's a good view of some of our arrivals. All right, here's 2 requirements. So Kyle, we'll get to your question hopefully in this one as well. So the first thing is we talked about biosecurity is really, really important to keep our animals safe. If you want to see our full biosecurity plan for the entire complex, it is on our website. So there's a whole biosecurity page that you can look at. There's also some resources on there. So one of the things that is highly recommended by both our state veterinarian's office and our official veterinarians is temperature logs. So they're not required this year, but they're highly recommended. There's a temperature log on there. And one of the best things you can do for your animals is to temperature check them every morning. They prefer morning because then they haven't exercised or eaten or anything to raise that temperature. Sometime in the morning at about the same time each day, and depends on how many days you check them in a row. Before you go to an event, they suggest you have a 3-day baseline. So if you're going to come to us, let's say you're going to move into stock show on a Friday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you would check them in the morning at home so that you know that horse's baseline temperature, kind of an average. And then the recommendation is to continue that about the same time through the show each morning so that you know if that temperature changes. That temperature change is one of the first things to alert you of something happening. And usually, even if it's stress, it'll alert you. Okay. It also is usually one of the first symptoms before you see another symptom. So that's something really important to watch. So you can check that on our website or find a temperature log. But our actual requirements this year are also in the premium book, pages 15 and 16. So the first thing is a CVI, which is a certificate of veterinary inspection dated within 30 days of your arrival. So that's 30 days from the day you arrive on grounds. It needs to be within 30 days. And then we would like a negative Coggins test if that horse is coming from out of state. Okay, the brand papers, there is some information in the premium book on brand papers. It's more or less if you are leaving Colorado and going back to a brand state, then you may need it at the border. We do not check them on grounds. We will have brand inspectors on grounds to help you with that, or check those or whatever you may need. It's obviously recommended because Colorado is a brand state, so it's highly recommended that you have a correct brand inspection. But the bigger thing is if you get stopped. So if you're coming from outside of Colorado, coming into Colorado, they can stop you anywhere and ask for your brand inspection, because that's an ownership paper in Colorado. Or if you're leaving Colorado and going back to a brand state, they can stop you. So hopefully that helps. There is some information in the book that came straight from our brand inspector's office in the state of Colorado. That is on page 16 in the premium book. There's a quick question going back to some credentialing. How old do kiddos need to be to have, oops, it's scrolling on me, to have credentials with an adult? So I believe if they are lap kiddos 2 and under, we'd have to check with the ticket office. They don't need a badge or a ticket, but I believe that's only 2 and under. So everyone else, and those are some good thoughts too on options for credentials. We encourage our exhibitors to buy an exhibitor badge, because not only is it kind of a memento for you guys to keep, but also that exhibitor's badge is good for all 16 days of our show for grounds admission. So it's well worth the price. We have that in here a little bit later, but those for our exhibitors are $25. They sell a guest badge, which is the same thing, 16 days of grounds admission, to the public, I believe, for $80. So we're trying to keep those at a reasonable rate just for our exhibitors. If you do not want to buy an exhibitor badge, let's say if grandma just wants to come one day to watch somebody show, that one day they can go to the ticket office and purchase a grounds admission ticket just for that day to get them on grounds. So you do have that option as well. Okay, so that helps with credentials. Also, there's a link in your email that goes to our animal health declaration. There's sometimes this confusion on this. This is not filled out by a veterinarian. This is filled out by you. So it's doing a couple things. One, it is tracking who's in that trailer. So you can fill one out per trailer. So if you're bringing 4 horses, you just need to fill out one form with all 4 of those horses listed. So that tracks how many you're bringing. It also tells us where are they coming from and where are they going to. We turn that data into the state vet's office, and they look at a lot of that tracking because we have a lot of animal movement in January of all species. So that tracks that. It also lets us know, let's say the second day your horse is there, it does spike a temp or something. We know where it came from, because if it came from another event, another show, something like that, then that show needs to know. They need to know that they could have caught something there and let everybody else at that event know. Okay, it also tells us where you're going to, so we can keep an eye on that. Okay, the other thing at the very bottom of that declaration it does, you are declaring and signing off that the horses in that trailer or whatever you're listing has not had a temperature or any other symptoms in the past 3 days. Okay, so we're asking you to please make sure you're bringing healthy animals onto our grounds. So that's what the animal health declaration is. You'll bring that most of the time. I would say, I'm trying to think of all our events, 95% of our events and shows, you will bring that in exchange for your back number, which you need to show. So you need to bring that in. You can have it filled out. We just don't want you to send it early because, again, you're saying that those animals have not had a symptom in the last 3 days. So it needs to be filled out current. We also have waivers. And again, we talked about that with your credentials. To pick up your exhibitor badges or purchase more, you'll need to fill out a waiver. For those showing in the hunter jumper division, USEF has many waivers for you to fill out. So you probably already know that from your other shows, but the USEF division unfortunately has several waivers to bring with them. Okay, the W-9 is also linked in your email. That is for those who may be earning a payout. Okay, for the IRS, we have to collect that W-9. There are a couple events that's a little different for. So several of our youth programs do not need to fill out a W-9 because they're either could possibly be earning scholarship money from our scholarship trust, which is not W-9able, or some events like Horseman's Challenge, where only those entered in the speed challenge have the opportunity to win a payout. And so when you declare that you're going to show in that is when we would have you do that. So we don't need every single person in that event to fill one out. So read your email and it'll tell you, yes, fill one out and bring it with you to pick up your back number, or we will collect that later from who we would need it from. We also suggest that you check into the horse show office, and I'm going to say, or the secretary's check-in table in the Coliseum, because those quarter horses and paint horses in the roping and barrel racing events are in the Coliseum. So you're welcome to walk over to the event center to check in. These secretaries are going to spend time in both places, but we will have a table in the Coliseum for you. But if you check in either in the show office or that table within about an hour or two of your arrival, that helps us make sure everything's correct, helps you turn in your forms, pick up all your credentials, get your back number, get checked into the horse show. We've seen it a lot where if you move in, let's say in an afternoon, evening, and you don't check in until the next morning, well, that's when everyone else is checking in, and that's going to make our line in the show office really long, and we don't want you guys to have anxiety trying to get checked in before your class goes that morning, but we have to spend time with each exhibitor in that show office. So if you do it as you move in, hopefully it keeps people moving through that office and we don't get backlogged. The other thing, depending on which event or division you're in, a lot of times those secretaries need to check memberships, registrations, licenses, take more payment, things like that. So the email you got should have helped detail what else you need to bring. If you know what division you're showing in, you know what stuff you need. You need to be up on memberships. It's the end of the year, so renew your memberships, get your papers, your horse's papers in the correct names. USEF people know they need to do safe sport and all that kind of stuff. So please help us get current on that stuff and bring anything you need with you when you check in. Okay, so there's some requirements for you. Again, a lot of these are listed in your email and on our Horse Exhibitors website. Okay, we're going to move to stalling. So we talked about stalling a little bit. When you come into the down behind the barns, you'll go to the event center and get your exact stall assignments. Whether you're in the event center barn or the expo barn, we do use both during show. So like I said, our assignments are very flexible because it depends on the move out happening right before you and the move in happening right behind you. So they have kind of a Tetris job in the stalling office to make sure all of that works and that stalls are ready for you. And a lot of times those guys are turning over stalls 24 hours a day. So really appreciate you being flexible with them and understanding what they have to go through, because a lot of stuff changes. A lot of times they don't know when a division's moving out or a certain barn, especially if they make a final round or something like that. Can't predict that. So they are very flexible in their stalling, and that is one reason why we don't put out assignments. I know everyone today would love to know where they're stalled, but we don't know that. So that's why it's not public, because we don't know. We have an idea, we know how many stalls you need, but we don't always have those assignments made yet. We also look at your entry forms for requests. So I know those guys, I've been in a lot of meetings with the stalling staff and superintendents. They try so hard to accommodate everyone's requests that they want to be in a corner, or they want to be near a bathroom, or they want to be by so-and-so their friend, or they want 2 stalls, 3 stalls in a line instead of 2 across from each other, or whatever it may be. There are a ton of requests, and they are trying to make every single one of those happen. So typically they have, I would say, 90% of those they can accommodate, but sometimes it is quite a challenge, especially in some of our events that have a lot of stalls together in a group, because there's only so many places you can put people who need. We had one today, 47 stalls. So we're trying to figure out where to put that group of people, because there ended up being 47 stalls near each other. And so they're trying to work through that as well. Okay, so they're working on requests. Also, make sure you put requests on your entry forms, because that helps them, if they're 2 people they're not sure where to put, but one says, oh, I'd really like to be closest to the bathroom. Great. Hopefully that can solve that little tiebreaker. Okay, the stalls, so you know, are different in both buildings. There's also some details in the premium book, but just for those that know this picture, and we'll talk about the stanchions, but this picture is of the event center barn, and you can see these older stalls are wood, and if you can tell, the aisle is cement, but underneath the stalls is not. So in the event center barn, there are dirt floors underneath the stalls, and these stalls are 8 by 10. The stalls in the expo barn are 10 by 10, but on concrete. So just so you know what they are, and we try to accommodate obviously as needed. So that's what the stalls look like. And we work through trying to make sure that the people are near each other, like I said, and how many in an aisle and things like that. So sometimes there's someone else in your aisle or a couple people. Sometimes somebody needs a corner, for a stallion or something. So again, those goes back to that request. Our feed and bedding, a couple things here. One, just a reminder, and it's in the premium book and it's posted several places. Because of biosecurity and dust control and all those type of things, outside bedding is not allowed on our grounds. We get that question a lot. We get that question as you are unloading your trailer when you want to put 4 bags of shavings in a gator. Outside bedding is not allowed on our grounds. We do have feed and bedding offices. The one for the hill, which is what we call it, where the event center is just behind the west paddock of the event center. Okay, there are a couple ways you can order. I highly suggest you go to the feed and bedding office to order. They do have an online store. It is in your email. That's very new, and so those staff are trying to work through making sure there's accuracy there. With the Wi-Fi last year, a couple times some of those orders either didn't come in or they came in twice. So you can also order that way and double check when you arrive, but in person they can actually physically write down an order for you and get it correct and accurate, delivered to the right place, all that type of thing. Okay, they do take payment then. They also have a phone number you could call, but they also ask that you don't order, whether it's online or calling, more than 24 hours before your arrival, because someone else is probably in the stalls you will be using and they will deliver it. So if you pay for 4 bags of shavings 3 days before you arrive, someone else really is enjoying your 3 bags of shavings. So please don't order early. Okay, we talked about staffing a little bit. We have great stalling staff. Also want you guys to know that we have stalling staff 24 hours a day for horse safety. Okay, that doesn't mean they're going to touch your horse. That doesn't mean they're going to do whatever, but they are in the barns. They are walking. They are monitoring. So if something seems off, they want to contact you. And in order to do that, we need you to have contact information on your stalls. We provide you with those emergency contact cards. They're in the show office. They're in the stalling office. They're around. So please take those. Just put your name and phone number on them and staple them or tape them or something to your stalls. Okay, even if you have the entire aisle, put it somewhere in that aisle, because they will be looking if they need to. But they are there 24 hours a day monitoring, so that you know. Then jumping to this picture, these are stanchions with a plastic white chain. It's also written in your email, but we provide this to all of these rows. So we kind of call this a row that's near the main aisle. This is for really to keep our spectators safe and you guys and our horses safe, okay? It's more of a uniform way to put a little separation instead of you putting feed barrels there or using a lunge line or anything like that. This is a little more uniform that hopefully helps keep your row kind of quiet and safe with your animals, but also allows our public to still walk down the aisles and see live animals, which you will know if you talk to them, a lot of them do not see. So our goal is to get them to see some live animals and possibly talk to some people who raise those animals during the show. Okay, questions? We've gone through a lot of info. Any questions on any of this so far? Stalling, anything like that? And I know there's still people joining, so if you guys think of questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we can hop back a few slides if we need to. Okay, well, I'm going to keep rolling. There's people still hopping in. So the next stuff we have to talk about are some different access points. So there's several that we're going to cover in this, and I have a couple slides of maps. These are also, all these maps are linked in your email and on our website, but I want to go over them a little bit. So to orient you on this, this is an overall grounds map. Okay, I-70 is down here at the bottom. You can see 70 over here. So I-70 goes through here just to the north of the Coliseum. So that's I-70. And then the darker lines that are kind of diagonal are the light rail and railroad lines. Okay, so that orients you a little bit. Near I-70, you see the Coliseum parking, Stadium, Hall of Ed, and here's the event center. So there's two things I want to take note on here. The first one is when you arrive with a trailer, okay, this is with animals, you want to go north on Brighton Boulevard. So depending on which way you're going on 70 or however you're getting there, you want to go north on Brighton Boulevard, not quite all the way to the light rail station or the post office, but you're going to turn left, like we said on that picture earlier, into this staging lot. That's where you're going to go in the satellite trailer to get your health papers checked. Then you'll go down here behind the barns, behind the event center, either unload there, over here by the Hall of Ed, and then around to gate 5 right here, which puts you back underneath I-70. Okay, so that is your trailer route if you have an animal or if you're picking up an animal. If you are not and you're just parking a vehicle, this is important to know because obviously things are changing with construction. You want to go south right here. Okay, it's kind of Brighton and then to 44th. So it's kind of complicated right here, but you're going to go south and then you're going to turn kind of northwest-ish on 44th right here and go under right here. Here's this T underneath I-70 that is a three-way stop. Sometimes people don't know that. There is a three-way stop under there. And then you're going to continue north right here onto 46th. There's going to be a checkpoint right here. This is the only place where this gold circle is where you can enter with a parking pass. Okay, we are very limited on parking. We are allowing only parking passes in this area on grounds this year. So public will be going to either a different lot or parking at Coors Field. So with your parking pass, you can enter right here. Okay, go up 46, and then you can turn here on Baldwin, which is the one that is the very east side of the event center right here. And then up into lot H, which is our horse exhibitor lot on the north side of the event center. That is for horse exhibitors only. They're very limited passes just for us. When you leave this lot, you need to go straight out 48th right here. This is an exit only. You can go to Baldwin or Brighton. Or I mean to Brighton or further, York. But this is a one-way. So it's one way north all the way through here, and then one way east to get out of the H lot. So hopefully that makes sense. There's a quick question. Are stallions required to be stalled in the corner? That is completely up to you. So we get a couple requests every once in a while that they really, really would like a corner. But we also see tons and tons that are stalled throughout the barn next to mares, no problem. So that's 100% up to you. If we see that request, we do try to accommodate it for you. Okay, I'm going to show you the next couple maps. So we kind of talked about with access, we are trying to make sure that you and our animals are safe. And so there are a couple checkpoints we're going to go through where you need to have your credentials, whether that's your exhibitor badge or your parking passes. So please help us out with those and our staff, because we're trying to direct them to check those. So we need you to help show them. Okay, so the next couple are some more maps. So this is an exterior map. It's really just a close-in of what we've just looked at. Okay, so this is that access point right here to go north with a parking pass. You do need to have a parking pass either in your dash, you're holding it, or on your rear view mirror when you go through here, because there are staff right here. So once you get through them, you're going to come up here, go up Baldwin, and then turn into H lot right here. There also, and you can see there's two entrances here. There's one to G and there's one to H. You should want to turn left into H. And there's also going to be staff there checking. So please help them out. Make sure they know. It's sometimes so that you know might help them, instead of just, flashing it or something and driving past them, to let them look at it. Because for the horse exhibitors lot, we have, I think we're at 7 or 8 different kinds of passes that go in H lot. And so it's not one. They're not, they can't just glance at it and be like, yep, that's the blue pass or whatever. There's multiple colors, multiple dates on them, things like that. So be patient with them. They're trying to make sure that we're patrolling this area and letting only people who should be back to the barns get in this lot. Then these 2 gold stars are where there will also be personnel. So once you park, these people are going to check your exhibitor badge. So whether you're going straight down the hill to the barns, there's a pedestrian walkway right here, so they need to see your exhibitor badge. Or if you go in this one door of the event center that's to the very, I believe that would be west, there will be someone right inside that door checking as well. Okay, so help those 2 people out, show them the exhibitor badges again, so that we can control some of our access points. So that is exterior of the building. Now we're going to look at the interior. Okay, again, this is a little bit new this year, but we've kind of been moving into this. Again, especially as we move into a new facility, we want to start making sure that everybody's safe and that we're watching access points. So for you all, you will have exhibitor credentials. That means you can obviously be in either arena, on or off a horse. That's up to you, but you can be in either arena. We are trying to keep public out of both of those arenas. A lot of times they don't know and they would like to walk right into the paddock arena. Okay, usually the show arena is pretty monitored, but the paddock arena, we have a lot of gates open and things, and they think that it's okay to walk in there and pet a horse. They have no idea that you're riding around in there. So we're trying to monitor both that. And then you can see we added red lines also down the tunnel. I tell a lot of people, I tell my interns, I tell the media, that tunnel, I believe, is probably one of the most dangerous places on grounds. Okay, so we know that's for exhibitors or staff, right? We're trying to get down to the area. We also will be bringing media down here. We're getting more media interest, which is great, but they need somewhere to go. So you'll see this year, we are going to put media and officials all on this south side, southwest corner. Okay, so we'll take them down the tunnel and take them on our side. We want to keep this blue area on this side completely for you. So we've taken everything out of that side except for opening day with cattle, but otherwise that is yours. So what we're asking is, first of all, these 2 yellow points up here are security. So they're trying to make sure that not just anybody's walking down the tunnel. So please help them and have your exhibitor badge on. Okay, they're going to let you go down the tunnel. We understand that you may need to walk a horse or a hitch or anything down that tunnel. Totally get it. When the arena gates on this in-gate side close, please move to the out-gate side. You have the whole out-gate tunnel and you have this whole side until these connect over here. Okay, so down the tunnel till the gates close, and then please move to that side to keep this tunnel clear. So that's some inside access. We have a lot of events that we do autographs and meet and greets and things like that. We will try to close these paddock gates so that you and your horse or whoever exhibitors are inside the paddock, and public can come up to the fence on the outside to talk to you or get an autograph or whatever, so that there is a fence between you. Okay, questions on access points, either outside the building or inside? Okay, we're gonna keep moving because there's still more slides. Okay, we're gonna go through the schedule a little bit. So several things on the schedule. We put a lot in here based on a lot of questions we get. First of all, we've had questions on, well, what is the class schedule? Well, it is posted because we want you to know what day and what time your event goes. So if you have not looked at the class schedule, please do. This is just a screenshot of it. This front back page, like kind of one page downloadable schedule, is on the website. It's also in the premium book. So if you want to know what day your class goes or what class number or whatever, what arena, please check this. So it is linked on the horse exhibitors page of the website, and it's in your premium book. We also get asked a lot about arena schedules. We're working on those right now and have put a promise out that we will get those posted by January 1. So just a couple days. And the arena schedule in our brain is when the arenas are open or closed. Okay, and that affects a lot of you in different ways. One, some of you just need some warm-up time. But also, like, for instance, the first Friday and the first Monday, we have huge scholarship fundraising lunch and dinner in the event center arena. Okay, so we want you to know that even though the event ends at whatever time, we have to take out 1,300 tables. So we have a little bit of work to do. So we put out the arena schedule so that you know that even though the event ended, we expect to be in there until this time, with trucks and whatever, taking out tables or setting up something or whatever. So we will get those arena schedules out because we know everybody wants to know when they're open. We also list on there if it's just an open arena, or if that arena for that, let's say, we'll just pick one. Let's say during Ranch Rodeo Saturday night, that means the paddock arena is only available to the Ranch Rodeo riders during that couple hours, okay? Because that's only fair to give them, as they're competing, that arena. Otherwise, before and after them is probably open, but during their event, they get that arena, okay? So there are some times that even the paddock arena is limited to who's in it. Warm-ups, there are several divisions that have warm-up schedules, okay? And a lot of them are pre-scheduled. So quarter horse and paint horse is a good example. They have some ranch trail warm-ups, and it's an allotted time. Those you can sign up for that scheduled warm-up on your entry form or when you check in, and those will be monitored so that we know how many are going in. You get so many minutes on the ranch trail course, things like that. So that's very structured. We have barrel racing exhibition runs over in the Coliseum. So again, those can be added on your entry form or added when you check in. Again, very structured. We also have mule trail warm-ups. Same thing as ranch trail, very structured. You need to sign up for that. It's kind of like a class with an entry. Okay, so there are some times for that as well. I'm going to put back on here because it's a scheduling thing to remember. Make those changes before 5 p.m. the day before that class. So if you need to change an exhibitor, add a class, scratch a class, whatever that may be, please do that before 5 p.m. the day before your class to avoid those change fees. Several divisions also have exhibitors meetings. So this really varies. They should be in the email you receive, but these can vary because we have so many different events. Excuse me. So Mentor Matchup has 2 riders meetings. They know about them. The Performance Horse Showdown has 1 riders meeting. The Ranch Rodeo has 1. The Freestyle has 1. Quarter Paint does not have a meeting. Mounted Shooting does not have a meeting. The Hunter Jumper Show, those in the Gambler's Choice have a meeting, and those in the Grand Prix have a meeting. Horseman's Challenge has 2 exhibitors meetings, and Draft Horse, Mule, and Donkey have an exhibitors meeting. So they're all detailed in your schedules. They'll also be announced, but those are very, very important to attend. We also have, and I think we get to it a little bit later, some divisions have exhibitor appreciation parties. So those will be in your email as well. But a lot of the groups, there will be some sort of an appreciation party, and you might want to attend those. They have complimentary food and drink for you. So those will be in your schedule. They're obviously not on this public schedule because we don't want everybody joining you that's not an exhibitor. I also put payouts on here because that's a question we get a lot. They also vary by event. So there are some events, and we try to let you know, especially at the exhibitors meetings, that I say we pay live. That's probably not the right terminology, but that we pay right away. So Ranch Rodeo is one. Those guys know to hang around for about an hour after that event ends, and I will have checks done completely. Okay. There are other events such as Quarter Paint that take a lot of time. AQHA and APHA have to get the results and verify them, all kinds of things. So Quarter Paint, Hunter Jumper, Draft Horse, Mule, and Donkey, we give 30 days after the show ends to get those checks mailed to you. Okay, because we do a lot of verification, checking your mailing address, checking your social, checking that we put the right placing that you got in that class, things like that. So those take quite a while to verify. I'll see questions, so I'm going to keep moving. We have a couple left. Okay, on departure. So kind of toward the end of your visit, the first thing we ask is that if you will please depart immediately after your last class. That sure helps the next group moving in. Like I said, we're trying to turn over stalls. We spray those and disinfect those. And so we want to get those ready for that next group who is probably looking to move in as early as possible because they're excited it's their first day on grounds. It's your last day. So help us with that. Also, we ask that you go ahead and pack your area, whether that's just a tack stall, whether that's 6 tack stalls, whatever it is. Get that kind of organized and packed and your trunks packed before you go get your trailer, because the less time your trailer sits behind the event center, the better for everyone. So if you're packed and you just pull the trailer down and can load it, that's going to smooth out that time. You also, before you get your trailer, want to make sure you've checked out. And that's, again, different for every division, but usually in the horse show office, check out. Make sure you've paid your bill, make sure you've cleared up anything, make sure if they were trying to help you get a horse registration transfer or something, check in on all that so that all your stuff is wrapped up before you leave grounds, okay? Because then we have to try to call you and find you and get stuff straight with AQHA or USEF or whatever. So help us with that and check out. You also want to make sure you checked out with the feed and bedding office. Typically, they take payment right away, so you should be fine with them, but it's a great thing to check. Then you're going to go get your trailer. So get your vehicle, you're going to go to wherever your trailer's parked, and then when you come back up, you're going to go back to that staging lot, just like as when you arrived. Except this time, they're going to put you in kind of, we call that empty trailer line, that pickup lane. You don't want to sit behind 7 other trailers who are trying to get in, because we need you to get in and get your horse so that they can move in. So there's usually a pickup lane that they will express you through, because you don't need health papers checked. You're going to go through, get down to the barns, and get those animals and move out. Before you fully leave, right as you're ready to load horses, you'll go to the stalling office, and that same arrival and release form that the staff filled out up at the staging lot, the stalling office is going to have that. Okay, they pick those up a couple times a day from the satellite office. So they're going to have those. They're going to find yours, and they're going to fill out the second part of it. That's the release section. So again, they're checking if you drove in with 4 animals in your trailer and you drove this truck and trailer, are you driving that truck and trailer with 4 animals leaving? So they'll fill that out and give you a copy. And then you need to show that at gate 5 to exit. Okay, and most likely gate 5 may also want to look at noses and say, yeah, you do have 4, you can leave. So that's the information you're going to need. One other thing I wanted to point out on here, if you all watch your emails and website and things like that, we may be having a slight change to parking, trailer parking this year. It's kind of in the works right now because of construction, but we may be moving our trailer parking lot to help actually hopefully make it easier for all of you. So we don't have that solidified yet, but as soon as we do, we will send it out as many times as possible. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to some resources and then some frequently asked questions. So some resources for you. I've mentioned it a lot. That premium book that is linked right here on our website. So this is the Horse Exhibitors page of the website. Premium book is right here. It's been there since probably October 1st, September 15th, something like that. So please reference that. That is rules, health requirements, schedule, officials, fees, you name it, it's in there. Okay, so please use the website. Also, as you scroll down, you'll see that I couldn't screenshot very far, but if you scroll down, there's what we call accordions. The first one's resources, and then the next ones go through our events. So mentor matchup, ranch rodeo, quarter paint, USEF, mule and donkey. There's accordions for each of those, and we're going to try to post as much as possible for you guys to access. So your class counts, we get a lot of questions. How many are in class? 28. I don't know yet. So once we are able to run those and get all our entries in, we'll run those class counts and post them under your division. Patterns and courses. Everyone wants to see your patterns and courses. So do we. So once those are all approved by judges, they're final, they're good to go, we will post those for you. Same thing like we talked with arena schedules. Everyone wants to know when you can lunge that horse or something. We know. Those we're going through with our operations department to make sure that I don't have to hang a truss one day or get a boom lift in or something that would be in your way. Okay, so we'll post those on the same website. We also, on the next pages, I'll show you some screenshots. We have 2 social media accounts just for horse exhibitors. They are both NWSS Horse Exhibitors, and that is Facebook and Instagram. So we try to put stuff up there as quick as possible. We've also got some behind the scenes going on Instagram. So we'll try to get information up there for you. You can always come to the horse show office. That is in the event center on the south side of the paddock arena. So please come in there, whether I'm in there or our office staff, interns are starting to learn a lot, but we're in there to help you. So please visit anytime, and we're happy to help you guys out. I also put on here, you'll find on our website, but we do have an official photographer and official videographer for every event. Okay, we encourage, they're there for you, right? Those photographers are there to get pictures of you. So please, you'll find them. They will be on grounds. I believe both of them will have a booth, but I know during stock show that can be tricky because there's not a lot of space. But both of their websites are linked on this horse exhibitors page. Okay, they're there for different events. The videographer, we have a videographer, but we're working with how we're going to actually live stream the horse show this year. So that's why that information has not been posted, because we're working through that right now. And I think it's going to be really good news for everybody. So working very hard on live streaming every single event. Not sure about the Coliseum because that's a different venue. That is a city venue, not the event center that we own. Veterinarian and farrier, again, we want to have resources on grounds for you. So our official veterinarian is Littleton Equine Medical Center. They are on grounds every single day of show, starting a couple days before the show. They are not on grounds overnight because they need some sleep, but they are in a hotel very, very close to grounds. And they do have a 24-hour cell phone emergency call number, and that will be posted everywhere. Okay, so you'll know where that is, but there's always a vet available. They're always on grounds during daylight hours. We also have a farrier. The farrier is on grounds starting the first day of stock show through, it would be Monday the 15th, I believe is MLK Monday. And then from Tuesday to Sunday, they are on call. And we can schedule them through the horse show office. But they're on grounds through the first week and a half. Okay, I will keep rolling to the next ones. Here are some pictures. So I showed you the horse exhibitors page of the website. This is the youth programs page. A lot of you in any of those type of events, your specifications and rules and guidelines are still linked to these pages. So they answer a lot of your questions. I know we've got a couple today. They're still linked. Here's our Facebook page and here's our Instagram page. So we're trying to post a lot of stuff going on. So feel free to follow those and reach out, ask questions, post things like that. Okay, I also wanted to put up, this is also in your email, but just so you guys know, our CEO especially has worked really hard to try to make sure that we are taking care of our exhibitors, because we know this is sometimes a challenging event, right? It's not a regular horse show where you can park your trailer right behind the barn with your living quarters and stay right there for a week and a half and move in 6 days early and all the things we kind of are used to at a horse show. So that's a challenge. And so he's really pushed to make sure that we have benefits for you guys, because like I said in our mission, you guys are helping us share equestrian sports with the public, which is very, very important to the ag industry. So here's some fun benefits for you. They are also in your emails, so you can find more information there. I also want to touch on really quick a couple of frequently asked questions. I think we answered most of these, but we get phone calls and emails constantly, especially this time of year. And so I was going to just quickly hit some of the frequently asked questions. So, can I purchase more badges or get more parking passes? Yes, when you move in. Wait till you move in. I don't want 72 sticky notes on my desk, because guaranteed I will not fulfill one of those, and I don't want that to happen to you. So when you move in, you can buy more or request more parking. Do you have access to our ticketed events? If you have a ticket. The ticketed events need an event ticket. Your exhibitor's badge gets you into all events that are free with grounds admission, but not a ticketed event. You must have an actual event ticket. And as you saw, you can get those discounted at the box office if you're wearing your badge. When can I warm up my horse? I need to get my horse in the arena. Look at those arena schedules. We haven't posted them quite yet, but we should in the next few days. And that is your best time. Again, those are flexible if something happens, but those are your best options and resource to find out when you can work that horse. Feed and bedding, like I said, please don't order those more than 24 hours before you arrive. We don't want those to get mixed up and sent to somebody else and they enjoy some free shavings. Okay, but you can also order on the online store, call them, or order in person. Where am I going to be stalled? Did you put me in my favorite stall next to my best friend? We hope so. Like I said, some of those assignments are flexible because we need to make sure the group ahead of you is moving out on time and the group behind you is going to move in at an okay rate behind you as well. So those are flexible. We do not post stall assignments because we don't know what they are until you are in the staging lot in that line getting ready to move in. Can I arrive 3 days early? I want my horse to get acclimated. I sure wish we had that much space, but unfortunately, those of you who have seen our barns know we do not have very many stalls. So that's why we worked with Adams County. that way it can help you be a layover option for you. So they will take any animals, any livestock, any species, whatever. They've got different barns, different spaces, and they can handle that a few days earlier, a few days after, things like that, because we just do not have the stalling. So check with those. I have a horse that colicked today, or I sold that horse and I want to bring a different one instead. Great. You can do a vet out or a substitution. Make sure you check the premium book for the dates to do that. There's a couple different deadlines based on how much of a refund you want. And there's information on how to do that. Most of it is by email. That's the best way to send us that, because we want to make sure we have the right horse, the right division, the right rider, whatever it is. And in writing is better than the voicemails, because sometimes those come in really, really messed up and really staticky. I want to know what my pattern is. Yep, we do too. The judges are looking at those right now. We hope to post those by January 1st. All your patterns and courses for the most part. There are obviously a handful we do not, depending on the division. Hunter jumper, yeah, we don't post any years. You know they'll be at the paddock stand. Horseman's Challenge, the speed round, we never post that early because that's supposed to be a surprise. So it'll be drawn, but it will not be posted until that day that we do that. Okay. I will pause there. I see some questions coming in. Feel free to add more. I need to add another tack stall. Yes, please. The best way to do that right now is to email us at horse@nationalwestern.com and let us know what event or division you're in, and to add that stall if you want it assigned to a specific horse, or depending on what your entries look like. Please let us know, as those stall counts are, we finalize those and start giving those to our stalling staff to start preparing, because horses start coming next week. And actually horses are in now. We had a PRCA qualifier last week in the event center, and the WPRA qualifier starts tomorrow. So stock show has started for us and the barns are full. So yes, we need to know that. Can we pick up ordered badges opening weekend? Great question. Thank you so much for asking that. Yes, we want you guys to enjoy those exhibitors badges and the access they give you. So we get this a lot from our draft horse exhibitors who are the final weekend. Yes, you can come to that staging office, to that satellite trailer before, or I should say before you move in, but starting opening day, the 6th, and pick those up. They will have the list of who's ordered what, and you can pick them up so you can enjoy them even if you have not moved a horse in yet. So you'll want to park in a lot and just walk to that satellite trailer, because you won't have a horse trailer to put in the line. But you can walk over to that satellite trailer, yes. Good question. So this is about the Coliseum. If you are a quarter horse or paint horse exhibitor entered in roping or barrel racing, you will go directly to the Coliseum. Okay, and there's a specific map. It was only a quarter horse and paint horse map emailed to you guys, because not everybody else needs to see that. So there's a map that was sent in your email, and those horses will go directly to the Coliseum and get their health papers checked over there, pick up their credentials, all that type of stuff. They have their check-in process over there, similar to ours, with a trailer and things like that, installing office, but it's at the Coliseum. If you're a quarter horse or paint horse exhibitor entered in halter, ranch trail, or ranch riding, you will come to the event center. Those classes are in the event center this year. If you're doing both, which we do have several doing both, we suggest, and we've talked to a lot of people, you'll want to stall where most of your classes are, or what you'll be doing the most. So if you're doing the roping and barrel racing and you're going to show one halter class, you'll want to keep that horse in the Coliseum and then come across the street just for that one halter class. Okay. And that should be detailed in your email as well. Whether you're going to the event center, you follow this procedure, Coliseum, you follow this procedure. Do we take checks or credit card? Great question. If you have the opportunity to mail or bring us a check, that is ideal, because man, those credit card fees are going up. And in the horse show department, we're pushing really hard to not just raise fees to cover those. Obviously, we're going to have to figure out a way to cover credit card fees, but I hate passing them through to exhibitors because it just makes our fees go up. So if you have an opportunity to bring a check, that would be fantastic, but we can take both. What other questions do all of you have? This is your chance to throw out questions. And if there's something I missed or another piece of information you want to know, I'm happy to cover that. anyone wants to unmute and ask, you're welcome to do that as well. The information on the screen is for you guys to have, to use, take a picture of, whatever. Like I said, that webpage, we're going to try to post as much information as possible, or announcements or anything like that. We'll try to get on that page or on our social media pages. Good question. So there's a question about attire requirements. It depends on the event. So what we always say is you want to first, our rules always go to the governing body. So if it's like you mentioned, barrel racing, that is under the AQHA and APHA organizations. So we 100% follow their rule books as a sanctioned show. So for those events, you can easily go to AQHA or APHA rule books and find all that information. If it's an event like Mentor Matchup or Horseman's Challenge that are not sanctioned, those are National Western created events, then there's usually information either in the email or the premium book has Horseman's Challenge attire requirements, tack requirements, things like that, if they're a National Western event. So it can vary based on what sanctioning organization oversees that event, if that makes sense. So if you're just asking about barrel racing and halter, those will be under the quarter horse and paint horse rule books. What other questions do you all have? Oh, good question. If you're hauling in and out the same day, will there be trailer parking for trailers hooked to your truck? So Don, I'm not sure which event you're in, but because of limited space, we typically do not have that space. And we only have the trailer parking lot. So opening weekend is a little bit different in the way that they're structured with those different invitational events. But if it's not opening weekend, we really don't have that space. So depending on how close you live, if you can run home, drop the trailer, bring the vehicle back to parking lot H, and then get it later in the day, that's ideal. Or if someone lives close, or if you're at a hotel, a lot of our hotels that we do for our exhibitors, we'll take trailers for a couple of days. So one of those options is best because we just do not have, and we keep losing lots because of the new construction. So we don't have space. I forgot one question too. We also get asked a lot, can I stay in my trailer? Our answer to that is we do not have hookups during January. No power, no sewer, no anything, no water, nothing like that. It's up to you if you decide to stay in that trailer, but we do not have hookups. And depending on where you park, if your trailer parking lot is several miles away, that's up to you. All right, I will stay on a few more minutes to see if there are further questions, but a big thank you all so much for taking the time to join this. Hopefully it answered lots of your questions and helped you get ready for Denver. Please reach out, email us, call us, message us on social media, anything like that. Check our website if you have questions. We're here to help you. So make sure you let us know if you have questions or what we can do to help make your experience great. But thank you guys so much. Thanks for being a part of the horse show. And we will see you guys here in just a few weeks. We're just, 9 days out, I think, today. So we're excited to see you all soon.